are in our series, Fierce and Feminine. Truly so excited for each and every single one of you who have taken on your transformation and are ready to become empowered today. Let me tell you that we have somebody so amazing in the room, all the way from Zapata, Texas, because if you don't know it, Zapata's getting on the map. Google it. You'll find it, I promise. She's been someone that I've been able to share with, see her transform, here in her journey, and definitely so proud of the woman that, she has become and is becoming, because we never stop. And I think she definitely is the definition of fierce and feminine.
Thank you.
What do you think, Miss Kristina Garcia? Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me. That's actually one of the sweetest compliments. I love it. It's my favorite.
That's how I see you.
What, fierce and feminine. Yeah, and I love that, because I feel like in this girl world that we're building of empowerment, like it's important to be fierce. It's important to love your femininity. And I love that you say that about me. So I'm happy to continue sharing.
It's going to be a powerful podcast today. And thank you for giving your time to share with everybody else here today. So for everyone that doesn't know your story, why don't you share a little bit, of where you were before you found us, right? What results you've had, and then we'll kick it off from there.
All right. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Kristina, and I come from a little town called Zapata. And most people confuse it with me being in Mexico, but it's actually, I'm not in Mexico. It's just very small. It's very desert-like. And, growing up in a small community, I really didn't put myself out there very much. And so backtracking a little bit before, you hearing me and seeing me who I am in this chair, like the woman that I'm also very proud of being. I guess, like, you can say I had a little time in my life where this is probably something that a lot of people hear, a lot of people go through, is like some toxic relationships, right, in life. And so I was in one too. And you know what? Last time I remember talking about it on our latest podcast from prior, that's called Fearless Female. I had to learn to get myself out of that toxic relationship. Maybe I keep saying toxic, but sometimes at the end of the day, some people aren't made for each other, right? And that's okay. And so I had to get myself out of that, and I was in college. I was in a really a dark time in my head. It was very hard to be positive. It was very hard to love myself, because after what had happened to me, which was a miscarriage, it was very hard for myself to stop blaming that I almost deserved it, which sounds horrible. Sounds horrible, but that replayed. And anyways, I was in a really bad place. It was really hard for me to focus in college. I was just dragging. It's really hard to describe it, but I knew in my mind also, while I was going through that, something in the back of my mind told me that I was meant for more. I wasn't meant to be so sad. I wasn't meant to be in a place of struggle. I was just, none of us are, really. None of us are. So I knew I always wanted to do something about it. So when I was going through that time, I didn't want to be with anybody. I wasn't even showing up to class. I was sitting in the back. I wasn't absorbing anything. And I told myself, I got to do something. I got to find a community, right? So that's why I love where I'm at today. But that time, my thought of community was let me go get a job where all the girls are, because I apparently wanted to have girlfriends, right? I wanted to have people that would lift me and elevate me, to find that person that I knew I wasn't at that time of my depression. So I went and I worked at the mall, and it wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. It was actually not a fun job. I even had a second job, signing contracts for people who want to get personal trained at gyms. And that wasn't fun either. I thought I was going to get better, and I was I think I'm just more stressed. Yeah. And it's not fun. So anyways, a little later on after, I'm sorry, that's actually when I met my sponsors. My sponsors walked into the store that I was working at the mall. And then that was the door that opened up to all of this. And like, now I'm here, right? Now I'm here. There's still like a whole bunch of like years in between that. But that, I'm so glad that I told myself I need to go get not a job, but need to find a place where I was surrounded by people. And that decision gave me the door of opportunity to meet everything that I am today.
Yes.
You know, and like meeting you and meeting the team and meeting Team Beauty and finding myself through my own transformation. So anyways, I hopped on a program, right? Took me a little while. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I want to do it. And then I left, but then I came back because I was like, my life didn't change. I still wanted to get better. So I found my sponsors again. I got on a program, and little by little doing things for myself, like getting, I guess, like telling myself like, okay, I'm going to make my meals. Okay. Like I was catering to myself, right? That's what you do when you're getting on a nutritional program to change your habits, to change your life. You got to focus on you. So like those little things like were making me feel better day by day. My body felt nicer day by day. I was less bloated. I was gaining muscle. Like, of course, it's a progress, right? But I was focusing on just feeding myself those things because, like, it really did start making me feel great. So, I guess that's a little bit about my I guess from my prior life to what it is now. And I'm really grateful that like I gave myself the opportunity to really focus on myself. And I've had some pretty good results. Okay, I have a lot of pictures over on my Instagram. My body was able to like, I never really knew where I started in terms of like body fat, muscle mass, but I could see it through all the photos. Like I got a 4-pack.
Yeah. You're ripped. That's the word.
And I feel, you know, it's so crazy now that my body is so different and a little more muscular, a little more, I feel more beautiful. It's like working on yourself, working on your body really makes you feel more beautiful and feminine. So that's a little about it.
Yes. Last time you were here, we talked about being the fearless female, right? You mentioned it as well. If you haven't heard it, you can always go back, right? Look for the fearless female episode. And we spoke about that. And today, let's dive into, you know, being fierce and feminine, right? Many of you right now are in a current transformation. You're working on yourself. You're like, all right, this is it. I'm going to do it, right? And so what it means to be fierce, what it means to be feminine, and how I'm going to show up, right? That transformation over the period of the time, Kristina, you've been someone that, I mean, last time I asked you, right? Like, have you always been fit? Because it's like, everyone, you know, you're aiming for a better body. You're aiming for a better image representation of yourself. And so it's like, no, I wasn't. I didn't even imagine that. And so let's talk about that. You know, what does it mean to you to be fierce?
I feel like being fierce is, you know, just, it's like a combination of a lot of things. I would say, because for me, when I think of someone being fierce, I think of also yourself, right? A woman who is, not that she's not afraid, but she's a woman with a vision. And a vision is something, but also like a woman with a vision with action. So it could be like whether you're trying to get on your fitness journey, like a lot of us are right now currently on our 8-week fitness, I was gonna say routine, but our fitness challenge. And yeah, we do want to show up and be better and look better, but we always got to remember we need to do it in how we see ourselves being fit. Like, how do I say this? Like, we do want a better body, we do want a better image, but at the end of the day, you want to love who you really are in the mirror. And I think like that's also like, I was gonna break this off into like the whole social media thing, but like I think being fierce is just like knowing how strong and beautiful you are, and knowing like your, like I said, your plans, and being strong in your actions, and like being bold about it, and not giving up. And like that's a fierce woman with the vision, and like like the one doing the actions. Like that's, in my opinion, what a fierce woman is. And I've been doing my best to be on that.
You are. I mean, multiple different transformations, right? Multiple different photo shoots, and the way that you show up is in a very fierce way. And you have had to have a vision like for that. So if you're listening, it's like, how am I showing up for that bike that I'm going to get on, right? Like, how am I showing up? I'm going to qualify for that. I'm going to be at that event. I'm going to do the deal. And like, how would you set yourself up? Because you've done photo shoots in and out of Team Beauty, right? Like now you love them. Now you set them up outside.
Yeah, I do that for sure. Like for my birthdays and stuff, and like I love all of it. At first, I was terrified of that. Yeah. But like how you just said, is it another part of being like fierce and is doing things that even sometimes you're scared of, which goes back to the podcast that we talked about earlier. As far as like your transformation journey, it's important to know, like, give yourself that goal to be there, and start thinking about it's going to sound funny, but think about what you want to wear, and think about how you want to feel mostly, right? You want to feel confident, so you got to start putting in the work. You already got the end goal. Just like I said, a woman with a vision. Okay, you envision who you will be in 8 weeks, and then you put the action. Okay, and that requires a lot of like catering to yourself, and making sure you're sticking to the plan. And for me, every time I show up at a photo shoot, I'm also an artist. So like I love the uniqueness of everything. Like even as individuals, as women, every single one of us is so unique, and it's such a superpower. Like if you truly thought about it, it's probably one of the most beautiful things ever. Like my artwork actually in college was like, every piece I did, I made sure was like as different as it could be, as it is like in real life, you know? And I think like that shows up in my outfits too when it comes to photo shoots, because for me, it's never enough to buy something off the shelf, because I want it to be so different. Yeah. Because it's such a powerful thing to be uniquely you and bold and different. So I even show it in my clothes.
Being fierce, right? Doing things that scare you, doing things that are different, doing things that are bold, doing things that take you out into action. And I want you to think about that, right? Like in my transformation, I'm working on this, and the vision is that image present, right? Those minus 20 pounds, yes, have them present, but also put that dream girl there, right? Like that girl of what she looks like.
Your dream girl, I wasn't saying I said that funny, but your dream girl is like who you really want to be, who you really want to not look like, because you're always going to look like you, but how do you want to feel better? Like, what does that require? You know,
in your photo shoots, because I mean, we're going to talk about you, girl, okay? But in your photo shoots, you've had, different poses. You've had different areas of your body maybe that you've even wanted to show off. You've had the different side of you that you wanted to bring out. And so
I actually never knew I had all this
in
me.
That's why you're here, because if you look at the Kristina that started, or at the Kristina before Team Beauty, it's like, was she this, was she that? Yes, you had her inside of you this whole time, but how do you bring her out? How did you bring this fierce out?
I think I brought it out by, I just was kind of tired of like wanting to be different and finding who I really was. I was just so tired of where I was, like, and if you don't change, nothing changes. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, if you want things to change, you got to do it different. And I feel like that's how I kind of like decided, like, this is I'm done with who I am, because there's so much more, and it doesn't feel good when you know like there's more potential in you. So I guess that's just kind of how like I told myself, like, and it's also just a decision. It's a like a real decision, a decision to change your life. Like, you know, are you happy with where you are? Or are you ready to be different? Are you ready to be better? Are you ready to be like fearless? Are you ready to walk around with that confidence that like, I don't know, who wants to walk around very like, you know, like self-conscious, like worried about other things? Like, you need to walk around and like just step into your power, make the decision. And that was me. Like, that was me. I was like, okay, I'm ready. There's more. And there's opportunity, right? Opportunity here with Team Beauty was like everything to me. Like, now coming into the photo shoots, like when I started doing the photo shoots too, at first I was like, I didn't know how to pose. I was like, should I pose like this? Should I pose like? And then the next photo shoot, I was like, I'll just pose, you know, with my butt. And that's actually different. I'm not a girl that like poses a lot from the back, but I started feeling more like happy with my body and the results I was getting because of the work that I was doing. Because now today I'm much more of my dream girl. I'm more of my dream girl today. It's crazy. It's like I saw her, and I'm in those phases of like getting closer to her, the more I don't give up. And I feel like I hope that every woman wants that, right? Every woman that's feeling like they want to be different or they feel like there's more is because there is.
I love that. That's so powerful. So think about that, right? Like, am I stepping into the fierce version of me? What does that look like? What next step does that look like? And then being feminine, right? Putting fierce and feminine together, but being feminine. What does being feminine mean to you?
I think being feminine is everything that like, I'm not going to say like a woman should be, but like things that like we naturally are: caring, understanding, you know. Being feminine is just like being fully, I don't know, like how fully who you are, and like being happy with the woman you're becoming. Being warm, like things that even are natural. Like even when you become a mother, you have all these nurturing characteristics. We're soft but strong. I don't know. So like I feel like that's what being
Have you always
is.
been? Because, you know, that's a question that most will ask as they see you. You see Kristina, right?
Girly. And I'm all dressed in
girly.
pink.
Look at her with her heart shades.
I'm in my Barbie era right now.
We all are. Look, heart shades, but with some fire in them.
And that's exactly what my outfit was for the last photo shoot. It was like I had this red leather really hearts. Old. I actually cut out the hearts. I totally did the whole design, and I was like, what's cute but also like fiery, and I think that's very fierce but also very feminine.
Have you always been this girly?
No, actually
quote unquote girly, because I mean there's no I mean you could say feminine, but we're all feminine, you guys. It's like, but have you always been this girly?
No, I was actually at one point I never wanted to wear the color pink. I don't even, all I had in my closet was like black, gray, and white. Like that was all I had. And like, I don't know why. It was just like, I do know why I was afraid to wear so much pink. I didn't want to be so girly, right? I didn't want to be so girly. Because,
what did that mean to you?
Like, I don't know, like maybe like with what was going on with my head, like I wanted to be like somewhere inside, like I wanted to be tough. Who's tough and wears pink? In my head at that time was like, no one who's tough wears pink. Like, that's too soft. But it's so crazy that now I'm like, you can be dressed in all the pink and be so strong. Like, I was almost like if a color was like weak, like and I think of it, it's a little ridiculous now, but I wasn't that girly then because that's how my brain worked. I guess because I was just like in such a bad place, but I did want to be strong, and so like I was doing things that like I thought would make me stronger, but it wasn't really working on who I was inside. It was like, let me change my wardrobe, let me like look tougher, but I never really did the internal work where now I'm like, I'm happy in whatever color I wear, and if it's pink, let it be a lot of pink. But I'm gonna walk around the room in all that pink, and everyone's gonna look at me because, like, I am a powerful being, as we all are, in whatever color.
I love that. And like, how did you start stepping into the more feminine you? How did you start like stepping into that, walking into that, like accepting that part of the feminine you know, where you're like, this, I like this, you know. Remember that day where you wore your first, let's just say color pink, right? It could have been green or purple or another color, but let's just say pink. When you put on maybe a little bit more lip gloss or a little bit more blush, you know, or you put on more heels now, all those things, like, how did you start accepting that part of you to be more feminine? Or like, what are those things, maybe for you it's not even that, what are those things that make you feel more feminine?
Well, I do want to answer you on like when I first started wearing, like with the whole wardrobe thing, because I just talked about it, how like everything was black and stuff, and I thought it would make me strong. But I remember when I came into Teen Beauty, everything was pink, so I was already like looking at it like, oh my God, everything's gonna be pink. And then so little by little, like I was like, okay, well, let me get this pink shirt and let me get this pink, and like pink is cute, you know. I started like kind of like mentally like trying to rewire my brain that it like colors are nothing. It's really who you are is what matters, right? It doesn't really matter what you wear. Like, so I started like letting myself wear the more pink colors. I even told myself, okay, well, maybe I should start, you know, making my world colorful, because how am I gonna be so happy in black and white and gray? I was living my life in black and white. That's not even fun. You know, like life is colorful, life is beautiful and playful. And so I was like, maybe I need to start being that, and I'll start, you know, I guess that's how it started. Like when it came to accepting, like it's okay to be feminine and wear what you want and love who you are, and like it's okay, and like the wardrobe doesn't have to be like this doesn't have to be like that. It was all rewiring of my brain. All rewiring of my brain. And I felt like those decisions, like I was like, wow, I did that. Like now that I'm making these big decisions to change my life, and it is, I get to see how my life was, and like that wasn't right, you know. Like I said, I guess that's where like the whole wardrobe changed to like, and then I did start buying more heels in different colors, and then everything was in color now. Like went from black and white to like different hues, and now I have the whole spectrum of colors of it, and that like it really plays into my life. Like now I'm like, I feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free. And I think that's cool. I don't remember the last question you asked.
So how did you? That's great. That's great. I think, you know, it will allow more women that are listening to you to step into that power. And then the next question was like, how did you step into the more feminine side? Like, what little things did you start to do? You know, from going from black and white, what little things did you start to do to make you feel like more feminine, you know, more soft, you know, more warm, more nurturing, more caring from, you know, that place that you were to today? You know, what things did you do?
Well, I also started changing things up in my house. Everything was black and white. So like literally, I also, you know, even my products to do my hair, like my iron, I bought it in pink with sparkles, and my makeup was less grungy. Not that grungy isn't feminine or it's wrong, because you don't have to be pink to be feminine. You literally can wear black and white
and be feminine.
Like it really doesn't matter. It's really who you are. It's the internal work that's done. Because if someone came into my closet and made it all black and white, I'd still walk the same in it right now. Like if I was wearing this pink shirt, you know. So I started doing like things and my comforter became white with flowers. I thought that was cute. Like it's cute, and I was like, it is cute. In my eyes, it's cute. So I started accepting all the things I really truly thought were cute, but in my head I was like, that's not cute because it's too soft.
It's weak.
It's weak. and it's not even like that. So those little things started making me step into like this feminine girl that I am, because this is who I really am. I was trying to be a grungy girl, and I am not. Other people aren't, and that's okay. It's not about that. It's about the internal work.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I know I keep saying that, and it's because like, I know we didn't talk about this before, but the whole black and white thing is just playing a whole thing on me, on my brain now. Because I was like, wow, I was really stopping myself because of how I was living too. I was just, so yeah, I started doing things like that. And I started wearing high heels and doing my hair nice, how I thought it was cute. And I started feeling like more like, like more free and more feminine. So.
And that's who you are now, right?
Yeah,
like
and I love it. I'm not fake about it at all. Like, this is all that I am, and it's all that I want to be. And that's exactly who the dream girl is in my mind, is being the free woman, living my life how I want it, you know?
And that's what I want you to think about if you're listening to this, right? It goes beyond the pink. It goes beyond fierce and feminine. It's who is the dream girl that you're chasing, right? Is it some girl on Instagram that you keep stalking, right? That has nothing to do with you. Or is it you in the next year, in the next 3 months, in the next 5 years? Like, who's the dream girl that you're chasing, that you want to become? And so I think that's important, right, Kristina, that we think about that. Like, I want to become my dream girl. Like, I am my dream girl. And maybe there's parts of you that you don't like, that you don't accept, that you're unhappy about. Maybe there's things that you're holding on to that are making your life black and white. But you can get to her.
Yeah, you can. You just got to do the internal work, right? You got a vision, and then you got to put a plan, and then you got to do the action, just like any other thing in life. And it also goes to like working towards your dream girl. And your dream girl can be based off the Instagram. It really can't, because it's not that it's not real. It's just like the reality of everything is just you need to learn to work on you for you. And it's really hard now because social media is almost everything, right? But like you said earlier, it's all highlights. It's all highlights, and life isn't like that. And you can, I guess, in some sort of way use it for motivation, but always remember that you're working on yourself. And like I said earlier, you are so unique. Okay, not everybody is ever going to be the same. I remember at one point I did pageants in my life, and like, I guess like I felt like I had to be really skinny, and I felt like I had to be really, for me, like in what I saw, like I had to be thinner, that I had to, because I was like fitting myself in something in my head. It's not really like that, right? Because in pageants, like now they're like toning up, and like there's this whole, it's different. This was like many years back, and that was my thought process because it was bad. And like, I've worked on my body, and it's not, I'm not very like thin, and I have more muscle, and I feel like so beautiful, right? So like when you work on yourself, like your body is going to be what it is because it's uniquely like how it's made, and we need to learn to love the body that we're in and the process of it. So like that's why it's like really not good to be like, I want to look exactly like this on social media, or like this person on social media. Like I said, like, you can use it for inspiration some way, but like you gotta love who you are and who uniquely you are. Like it's really important. It's really important, and I stress it because like we want to be like, sometimes people want to be copies of people, and you can't be a copy of someone. Like, if you're uniquely you, it's your superpower.
You've got a unique power, and nobody else can be that but
and it's
you.
so beautiful. Like, it's so,
and,
now
and
we
you
have to
gotta
tell ourselves
discover
that.
it, right? This wasn't a night and day thing for you. You gotta discover it. You gotta go through it. There's cycles, you're right, that you're gonna go through. And the best part of it is that it's like a butterfly, right? Like, you are transforming in the process. And I want you to think about that. Like, what does it mean to be fierce for me? What does it mean to be feminine for me?
But you know what, Jerry? You discover all of that through the process.
Yes.
And if you don't start going through the process, like it might be harder for you to find. You find it in the process. People might ask me sometimes, like I've had questions like that asked towards me, like, how do you not see this that way? Or how do you love yourself? Like, how do you walk so confident? It's all in the process. Like, you got to do the walk.
Got to go through the heart.
You got to like go through, be like fierce and fearless, and go through the trials, go through the ups and downs and the learning phases. And you, along the way, even your dream girl might change too. But like, that's where you find it. So
walking,
doing the action, doing the action to better yourself, better your life, better your mentality. And then you start to realize all these things, and it makes you love yourself more. That's where you find it, in the process.
I love it. Fierce. I mean, let's start with fearless, because we started with fearless. You started that, right? Fearless, being fierce, being feminine. And, you know, if you're listening, and obviously I'm already thinking, like, take the stuff out of your closet that you don't want, girl.
Yeah, get rid
like,
of it. Be
get
who
rid
you
of
are.
it, right? You gotta get rid of it. Get rid of the things in your closet. Get rid of the people that aren't gonna serve the dream girl, right? Get rid of. And so you're already like even opening so much inspiration and creativity in my mind as we're talking about this. So as we step into the week, as we reset and we're like, all right, like this is what I'm gonna do this week, because it's evolution, right? What would you recommend for them to start stepping into that fierce and feminine power?
Okay, really focus on your dream girl. I hope like everyone who's listening, like, think of your dream girl. Who do you want to be?
Write her down.
Write her down. Think about what she wears. Think about how she eats. Think about how she cares for her body, the people around her. The people around you have a lot to do with who you, like, how you end up feeling about yourself. So if you have to remove some things in your life, that's okay. And sometimes if it has to, like, sometimes you might even hurt people's feelings, but you got to remember, like, you got to live your life for you too. And that's very important. So your dream girl, you need to take care of your dream girl. So I also think, like, also remembering going into the, like, social media thing again, like, make sure, like, this is like the reality check, that it's not always real, and we need to really love and work on ourselves and use it for inspiration. Don't use it to compare. I think getting ready also might help you through the week. This week, like, if you feel like, sometimes I tell myself this too, like, oh, I should have given myself a couple more minutes to get ready in the morning, because when I get my hair ready, I feel like super confident.
When I wear jewelry, it makes me feel
good. For me, it's like when I do my hair. Like, if I don't do my hair, I might not look like a mess, but like I feel it, and I might look it too. But
think about it. What gives you power, girl? What gives you power? And do that every day this week.
Yes, for sure. And I think that's going to help you really, just, I guess, like, that's going to help you really in becoming of who you are, because you're practicing those things that make you feel good. So I think those are some good action steps, and, you know, be bold and be who you are and live your life in color, and, you know,
do you already know what you're going to wear?
I actually thought about it, and it's so funny because I know we're talking about pink and color, but I think I'm taking it back to black and studs. And that's hard and rough, and I'm kind of excited for it, because I love being creative and working on outfits and stuff, and I think, I don't know, I love it. Now I don't fit in, and I'm so free about it. So I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
I hope you guys are thinking about, you know, that dream girl, how you're going to show up, and really representing that. Every transformation, every challenge, every this mini competition within yourself week to week is going to be the representation of, you know, the woman that you're chasing, and that every time we're only getting closer to her. So, Kristina, it's truly been awesome having you here and talking about being fierce, being bold, right? Be unapologetic, being feminine, being soft but strong, you know, and understanding the difference. And so before we go, do you have anything else that you want to share?
I was about to add to that, like, remember that you take space in the world. Don't be shy of who you are. And don't even allow yourself to make yourself shy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, don't be your own, don't block
Barrier.
yourself. Yeah, don't be your own barrier. And that's your dream girl's waiting. Your dream girl's waiting.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Cheers.
We're like,
Cheers.